I'm taking no, I'm just taking everybody who's attending here. So we'll give it a minute or two.
I just had a flashback, Donna, of being in school and when you were younger in elementary school and they did the roll call and you have to say here. Right, raise your hand. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, well, yeah. And when I'm teaching things in person, I actually work it a little bit differently, but hey, what can I tell you? Got to adapt.
Yeah.
So hang on just a minute. We have 2 more people coming in. All righty. Now what we have are agents and TCs on here. So if you've got a question, don't hesitate to ask about it, okay? We'll give it another minute to see who else shows up. Let me see here. Oh, let's see, I missed somebody. It says I have 12. So I have Amy, Laura, Melissa. Okay, hang on. So let's see here. We have somebody else. Hang on.
Okay. We do have that one.
Okay. We're going to wait a second or two till everybody's connected and settled. So I have 1, 2, 3. Somehow I'm missing a couple of people. Let me see. Oh, we got Cynthia in too. Cynthia. Alrighty. All right, we got Cynthia in. So, oh, that's right. Okay. What I decided to do, because some of you are again are agents and some of you are TCs. So what I wanted to go through is to make sure everybody that's on here knows how to get to the checklist that we have for under contracts and for listings. Does everybody understand where to go for that? So if not, let me tell you, open up your Gmail, go to the right-hand side, you'll see 6 little dots, okay? Hang on, I got somebody else here. Christy. Okay. Right here. You'll see when you open the Gmail account, you'll see 6 little dots on the right-hand side. Click on that, and then you'll see something that says Drive. Click on that. And Christy, please mute yourself, Christy. Thank you. And in the bar, type in resources. And what will pop up, it should be Resources Park Meadows, and click on that. Once you do that, you'll see a whole box of things that come up. Go to the one that says Contracts Class. And with that, that has the copy of the checklist, the contracts, and there's one in there for dates and deadlines. So that's where you can go and look for samples and your checklist. Now, I get questions on things like, why do I have to put together a source of water when I know in the seller's property disclosure, there is a, you check the box, I think it's now, used to be, I think it's J now, J or H, to put your information in there. I understand that. But if many of you were on our sales meeting class, you know that one of the biggest things when our insurance, our O&E insurance person was talking to us, they said their biggest lawsuits are on sources of water. So we have a document called source of water. Use that. That way the buyer signs it and he can't come back at you and say, hey guys, I didn't know anything about your water, or I don't know where your water came from, or you didn't tell me there was a well, or anything of that nature, because they have to sign it. So it's a protection for you and for your sellers, okay? Now, I would like to know if everybody can just unmute themselves and tell me if you've taken a 2022 contracts update class, not necessarily for me, but outside of anything. Who has taken it?
I have.
Okay, Teresa.
I haven't yet.
Okay, Kia, I did talk to you the other day when I talked to you. Go on smedra.com, smdra.com, and look and see if they've got one scheduled, okay? If
Okay.
not, you can email me and I'll give you Damian Cox's, I think it's cox.education.com, I believe it is. And you
Okay.
could get one there. And they can do that online. You can do that in a Zoom class, okay?
Perfect.
So who else?
I have.
Okay, Cynthia.
I have.
Okay, Reem. Let's see.
We're good.
I'm sorry, who said we're good?
Christy.
Oh, Christy. Okay, good. And
I have.
Tamara, have you?
I have two.
Okay, Kathy.
Yes.
Tamara, have you? Unmute yourself.
Yes, I have.
Okay, Dahlia, did you take an update class?
I took the one that you took, but not like the actual C credits.
Okay, well, if
I
you
mean,
even,
not the one that you took. I'm sorry. I meant to say the one that you did in the beginning.
October, yeah. Okay, good. It would be nice if you took another one just to keep working on that refresher. Now, Kim and Melissa are TCs, so they know from other issues, they know the contract because they've seen it. And when they each have questions, they email me with questions on a portion or what they need to, how to fill it out. There are two areas that three areas, I guess. One is I want to be sure you understand the date time for that. And that means that all your dates and deadlines have a time frame that has to be answered. It doesn't have to be 11:59 p.m. It could be 8, it could be 6, it could be 7 or 9. Don't make it much past 9. And that's for all the dates in the contract with the exception of the acceptance date of that offer. The other ones that you want to look at is on your area of where wells and water rights have to be reviewed. Those boxes have to be checked. Most of the time that's no, but sometimes it could be yes, depending on where it is. Okay, so just be cautious of that. What I want you to do is when you take a listing and you look at your outline and what you have to upload, please upload that as soon as they sign it, unless you're not putting it on the market for marketing. Be sure that you upload that within about 48 to 72 hours after you've taken the listing. Now, what that helps us understand is once that goes into the system, then we know what listings we've got, okay? And if you have an under contract, let's just say it's not a listing going under contract, but it's another contract that a buyer has bought, don't upload it to me until after your inspection resolution. The reason being is we don't get many that fall out, but we have a fair amount that do because of inspections. So I don't want you doing tons of work, and I don't want to have to review things unless they've gone through that level. So don't upload it in the system until you get to your past your inspection resolution information. When a contract goes on, when a listing goes under contract, same things, don't upload that. Now I'm going to try to share something with you here in just a second.
Donna,
Yes, ma'am.
when you say, can we put it into command and just not submit it to you?
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
a great
So
question,
not
Melissa.
submit. Okay.
Yeah, great
Thank you.
question.
Thank you.
Yep. Melissa has been a TC for me for many, many, many years. Haven't you, Miss Melissa?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I miss being in the office.
Okay. Well, I miss you too. I'm not always in there very much lately. Just one thing or another. Hang on. I'm going to share a couple of things with you here. I think I'm going to share something with you. Okay, so let me get back to you guys. Let me see if I can share this with you. All right, what you see here is what you will find in the resources. So this is all the documents that you need for buy-sell contract. When you get your agency agreements done, I know you can't really read these, but when you go in there, the first one you see is the buy-sell. The second one are naming clauses. Then you have dates and deadlines because we do that as a separate class. And then we have, this is the listing and all the things that need to be done. Now, those of you that have not taken a red line class or want to know what the changes were, there's also a red line contract that you can download and copy if you want. And it's the 2022. There are different addendums and things that also that have been there. This is what I find by going to the little box over here that's got 6 dots, typing in resources, and it pops up resources Park Meadows, and then go over to where you say contract classes. This is what it is. I have contract class every Monday at 12 o'clock. Some exceptions, but I have it every single one. Now, what I'm finding when I do your compliance is that once in a while, one of the biggest issues between January, February, not so much in March, is people don't get their title work with their title with the tax certificate. That's a new thing in our contract for dates and deadlines. So be sure you get your tax certificate in and uploaded properly. When you have a property that's going under contract, and I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go to another screen for you. So hang on here. When you guys go under contract, please make sure that you go into, you upload your documents 5 to 7 days prior to closing. Now, what happens is if you don't do that, I'm not so sure we can get you your DA, your distribution, to be paid at closing, okay? So I'm going to open something here. All righty.
Donna, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you're good.
Is that list in your drive the same that's in command already? Have you guys updated command?
Yeah, it was, the list has not changed too much. You
Okay.
can go into if you can't get into it, Melissa, let me know.
Yeah, I can't get into it, so.
All right, and Kim,
Okay.
if you can't either, let me know. I think I sent each of you, but I will send you each a new one. If you send me an email,
Thank you.
I'll make sure you guys get a new one if I haven't already done that.
Okay, thank you.
So now I'm looking at the things that come in command. So this is just happens to be somebody who has a buyer and somebody who's submitting a closing. However, let me go back and see if I can find a listing. No, they haven't. Both of these are buyers. All right. Hang on just a second. So let me see. When you have a listing, what it is, oh, let me see. They're not going to let me in, are you? To go back. Sometimes command plays nice, sometimes they don't. All right. Where you have consultation, if you have a listing, can everybody see that? All right, let me make sure I shared it. Okay, now you should be able to see it.
Yep.
Where it says consultation, there should, a lot of times it's going to say listings, under contracts, and closed. Listing, you already have a list of everything that needs to be there. Sometimes you have amend extents, you put them in there. Under contract, you have a list in that. File has the same thing. And it has all the documents you need. Now, let's say that if you're under contract, let's open that up. And we go through everything's been approved on just about on this one. Except at the bottom, you might have put in a copy of the inspection report or a copy of the radon. That's where you want to put it down here to keep it in your files. So if you ever have to go back and review it, you could put it at the bottom, okay? Under the close portion, you need to have your package from the title company. You need to have copies of your check or a copy of the distribution sheet and a copy of the under contract or the sold here. The only time you're not going to get that is when we're in a new build. When we do a new build, builders don't have any MLS input, okay? So that means that we just get a package for closing and copies of the check or the distribution sheet. Okay, let's go back. Now, with that said, again, 5 to 7 days prior to closing, send it to me. I review everything Monday through Friday. I do not review on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're going to close, please be aware of where those dates are and how soon you need to send them to me or submit them for compliance, okay? Now, when you are putting your information under the under contract portion and you load everything up, once you do that, go up to commission request and fill that out at the same time. That's how you get paid at closing, to make sure that we've got everything on track and make sure that you've got your information done properly. Make sure that your distribution sheet is properly done. You get it. Either Bonnie or Katie will upload it into your documentation, and then it'll tell you. I'll share again. So let's go share again, and I'll show you where that is. But she can't do it. She can't do it until this is where it is, and this is where a DA is going to be put together so you can get paid at closing, okay? This way, we know you've uploaded it, we know everything is fine, we know it's there, and you're gonna get your distribution sheet. You take that distribution sheet, a copy of it, which is here, open it up and print it, and send it over to the title company so your check can be paid at closing. We want to be sure that you do get paid at closing and make sure that you have all of that all your information together. Now, several of you, I have put together questions and I've sent information back to you. I send you little messages on things that you need to have or use or need to complete your file. So who's got questions? Or is there a question you want me to go over on any of the checklists or anything that is in the compliance area? Okay, Kim and Melissa, I know you guys got some. Come on, Miss Kim, I know you can jump in there.
I'm good. I bug you enough during the week.
No, you actually did. And actually, the last question you gave me was interesting. But yes, it's good to put that information that you questioned me on
Okay.
in the file just to have. How's that?
Perfect.
Yeah, Kim, what are your questions? And I know I get some from you too.
Well, I have a comment,
Mhm.
which you taught me, I think last week when you had sent me something asking for an inspection objection. I did not put a comment. I submitted the file, but I didn't put a comment that we didn't receive an inspection objection. And I couldn't resubmit it. But what was very helpful is you just had me upload a blank piece of paper and resubmit, and it made things go a lot faster. And it also helped that I didn't have to email you
Yes.
and plug up your emails.
Along with my other hundreds that I
Along
did.
with all your, yeah, so I got your attention that way. And I that was a great piece of information that I really liked.
Right. So what happened is Kim, and Melissa gives me notes, but Kim, now you are going to give me notes too. And so if for your TC, if they're not on here and you don't have inspections, I need to know because I'm not a mind reader. So if that box for the inspection, objection, and resolution is blank and you don't have any documentation up, I need to know that you didn't have one or you didn't do one. Okay. And so Kim and Melissa will write me notes that say no inspection. Those are in the comment section. And so what happened is because she couldn't resubmit to me, you can just use, and I got to give Melissa credit for this one because Melissa taught me this one. But if you just upload a blank piece of paper and then put in the comment of whatever your comment is and resubmit it to me, then I will know exactly what's going on. Okay. Because I've got 117 of you to keep track of plus the TCs. So I can't read everybody's mind on what you're doing. Okay, what else what other comments or how can I help you understand your compliance side better?
Donna, I have a question. In
Sure.
command, after your buyer has closed and it's in the closed, in the pipeline, in the closed column, what do we do with it? Where do we move it?
Ask me again, Teresa, I'm
So,
sorry.
you know, in command, as you move it like from consult to under contract to clear to close, you know, those little columns in command. And you
Right.
move them along. I have one in close and it's stuck there. I don't know what to do with it.
Melissa, can you help her out on that? Because I'm not sure I'm understanding what she's trying to do.
It would have to maybe be with in the detail section if it's marked closed or not. And then I believe it automatically disappears. Kim, can you chime in?
Yes, you're right, Melissa. You just go into the details section and mark closed, and then you put in then it'll make you put in a closing date,
Okay.
and then it will do that.
And then
Okay,
it will
thank
fall
you.
off her thing and go into like an
Yeah, then
archive,
it should
kinda like-
go away.
Yeah.
Thank
Do you
you.
understand that, Teresa?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. That's
Thanks,
why I
Kim.
have the TCs here. I'm really thrilled because I don't do that side of it, guys. I don't know.
I do have another question regarding,
Sure.
let's say that we are past inspection resolution and then it terminates on appraisal. So I've
Okay.
uploaded it, but I haven't usually, maybe
What I
I
want you to
submitted it.
do, Yeah, what I want you to do is put your termination at the bottom, the earnest money release and terminate notice of termination at the bottom.
Okay,
And then resubmit it to me, and then I'll go through it and I'll find it.
perfect. Okay.
Okay,
That's what, and then we can go in the opportunity and then you take it out so it doesn't show up, right? Why it was a lost opportunity?
I guess, I believe that's gonna be where you put it, but I will go ahead and approve it. And once I approve it, then put it into the lost opportunity,
Perfect.
okay? What other questions has anybody got? So somebody's got another question, I'm sure. Come on, guys. All right, what happens? I'm going to give you a question and you guys can answer me. What happens when the other agent doesn't give you closing instructions if you only have a property under contract?
I make it for them.
Yeah, and yeah, and a lot of times they won't sign it, but most of the time they're dumb enough and they will sign it. So if you don't get one, I'm not going to penalize you. However, Kim's great and Melissa's great. If you create one and send it to them, they might get their sellers to sign it. They don't, they're just, I will be honest with you, there's, and Kim and Melissa will chime in, a large amount of lazy agents that don't really understand why certain pieces of paper are very necessary to have. I know I'm very hard on you guys when you don't have all your stuff in, but you do. I have so few problems with you because you do follow your outline. And Kim, UTC, and I know Melissa does, maybe somebody that's outside of KW and they aren't as strict, but you have more problems, do you not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so if I'm teaching you how to do your paperwork properly, you will find that you have less problems, even though the other side gets a bit cranky with some of the paperwork we ask for, you have less problems. And the reason I ask you for all this paperwork is we will be audited by Dora. Dora looks for certain types of paper based on the address. If those papers aren't there, i.e. lead-based paint or certain disclosures and things like that, they will fine us, okay? So that's really the reason I want you to learn how to do this properly. Who else has another question? Melissa, you got a comment on something?
I do. Other agents are also lazy when it comes to source of water.
Yes.
Addendums. Kim, do you prepare those too and send them out, or do you just let that one go and include a note?
I don't prepare those. What I do is I make sure that it's on the seller's property report disclosure.
Okay.
And if it's on there, then I just give Donna a note saying that they did not provide a source of water, that it is on the seller's property disclosure. If it's not on the seller's property disclosure, then I do request one. And then I make Donna out to be the bad guy. And I say, my compliance is kicking this back. I use that line a lot, actually, not Donna by name. I just say, this is required by the brokerage. And yeah, so that's how I do it.
Okay, so we're pretty much on the same page on that.
Yeah, you are,
Donna,
Melissa.
I'm getting a lot of pushback on the CICC checklist.
Well, from whom?
Your agents.
Okay, tell them tough. Refer them to me. Now, this is how I want you to explain it. If they give you too much pushback, Melissa, tell them to call me.
Okay.
But if you have an HOA, Common Interest Community Checklist, if you have an HOA, we need to give the buyer as much information about that HOA as we can. Now, the reason and that document is in Dora. I don't make it up. That document is there. Have the sellers fill it out. It is informational for the buyer. There comes a point in time where there is going to be a pushback from somebody saying, I didn't know this. I don't know that, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you've sent them the CIC docs, that document, that 2-page document that the seller filled out, they can't say they didn't get notice. They can't say they don't know about it. Because on that document, on the second page, you put down how many HOAs are there. Do you have 1, 2, or 3, or whatever the amount is? I happen to live in an area that has 2. Excuse me. But the bottom line is that Melissa, if they give you problems, you tell them to call me, but otherwise you tell them that it's for their protection, the seller's protection, to know what the information is. Because I believe one of the questions is there an assessment coming? Or is there an assessment on the property? Is there, pool or whatever, okay? The more they know, the less problems the listing agent's gonna have. So whoever's crabbing at you, just tell them to call me and I'll make sure. Ask them this question. Do they want to get paid? Because Donna will not approve it without it.
I do make you out to be the bad guy on that one.
Okay. Yeah, because
but
I'm not going to approve it. If there's an HOA, I actually go back and look at the MLS.
okay,
If there's an HOA and I happen to know a lot of the areas that come through,
right.
I go look at the MLS to find out, is there an HOA? And if I don't see a CIC docs, you'll get a note from me saying, hey, where's that document?
Okay, so as a TC, then we should be sending that with the disclosures to the buyer?
Well,
Or is that just for an RA?
yeah, no, you should, if it's all filled, let's
Yeah.
talk the listing side. The listing side, you send it to seller, the seller
Right.
fills it out. Then when it goes under contract, send it to the buyer. And you can put in a separate note to the selling agent, say additional information for your buyers.
Okay. I do think there's a glitch with CTME on that particular document that I am trying to communicate with them. I'm making sure that it gets locked because there seems to be a slight problem with that locking. And even if it's completed, someone else can still go in and change it.
Oh, I see.
So that's kind of up in the air, I think, as to providing that to anybody until I can guarantee with CTME that it's locked.
Okay, got it. I understand.
Okay.
But
they're working on it with their tech support.
okay, good. Okay, good. I didn't
Okay.
know that, but that's good to know. Good to know.
But I'll make a PDF of it and make sure that it's included, and maybe I should just send a PDF to the buyer. But yeah, okay. I'm babbling. Thank you.
That's okay. No, but because your babble is help. If you and Ken get pushback, use me as you are as the bad guy, because honestly, I will not approve it unless that's there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It is my pleasure. Yes, they crab at me about many things, but I also keep their butts out of problems too. So there you go. All righty. What other questions do you have on this or any other thing dealing with how we progress? Is everybody understanding how they need to submit, how they need to get what they need to get approved on, and how soon? Does everybody understand the timeline? So listings, as soon as it gets 24 to 48 hours, if possible, to please submit it as a listing. As soon as you put it in, you may get the listing, but you have to put it in the MLS for a while, like say a week or two. So as you put it in the MLS, you upload it so that you have the proper, that copy of the MLS sheet that has active on it. And then as soon as it goes under contract, you have another MLS sheet that says under contract, okay?
Okay,
Then
so a
on-
question on that.
Sure.
So we have a signed listing, but we only have the ERS and the DWR. And it's not going on the market until the end of the month. I don't submit anything, I just upload it, right?
Right. Don't submit to me till you go on live.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, because you aren't going to get your sheet from the MLS until it's live. Really.
So you don't
I
want the
needed to
listing
say
submitted
active.
until
Let
it's
me
complete.
read.
You don't want the listing submitted until it's complete.
Correct. Please
Okay.
don't do that. Because honestly, when I go to review them, I go through and then I have to do it again. So it's just
Right.
double work for me. So.
And
I'm-
by uploading the exclusive right, that allows the office to see what's incoming. that enough?
It could, yes, it will. I can't remember how they do it.
And that's why you guys want 48 to 72 hours, just so you guys can kind of get a feel.
Yeah, well, it should be, yeah, that, I can't remember the process, Melissa, in which once you upload it, I don't remember which report it goes to, but I do know that we do an audit weekly on new listings in the MLS. So it'll be caught one way or the other.
Okay.
Okay. What other questions do you have and what concerns do you have? It's a whole lot to grasp.
Was the well permit that you were talking about on 6.7?
Yep.
Okay, and you put NA next
Well,
to the permit number?
You can put the word none, Kia, if you want.
Next to the permit number and in the
Yeah,
box?
Or you
Both?
can leave it
Okay.
blank. Either way is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. And then on your source of water, depending on which one you're doing, probably it's going to be number 2 most cases, but it might be number 1 where the well permit goes in there, the number goes in there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Who else has got a question?
Donna?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
My question might be more related to your contracts class, but related to Damien's clauses.
Yep.
What are the most frequently used clauses that most agents seem to use?
Well, it depends on what the issue is. We're back into appraisal gap clauses now. I want you to read it and see if it actually applies. I got a call this morning from an agent. She has the listing. The agent wrote the clause in a way in which it stated that, okay, we've agreed upon a certain price. The appraisal came in $70,000 below list, but their appraisal gap only went up 20 grand. So they're $50,000 short on what they agreed to, basically.
Right.
So when you're reading those clauses, make sure it says what you want it to say. So Damien you got to remember, he's an attorney and he's got lots of legalese, but pick the one that applies to your client, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, the appraisal gap is the one I'm seeing them. There for a while they stopped and now they're back again. So be careful. I would also, if you're going to, in his clauses, there is a statement if you're going to become a backup. Once in a while that's being used just because it may fall out for one thing or another. And not everybody understands that that's what's going to happen. So anything in those clauses that you might have a question on, just give me a jingle.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
because Damien has a tendency to write very long clauses, guys.
Right.
Very long. So,
Yeah, I actually went through it and I thought I had no idea there were so many clauses when I read it. And I thought, oh, I need to understand this more.
well, what you have to understand, those clauses are for many, many things, okay? But the most frequently used is the gap or possibly appraisal for one reason or another. Most of them are, you don't use a whole lot, but every once in a while you might use them, but we've got them so that you can use them. What you will also just find is that the other side, because they may not have an in-house attorney or it may be a one-man shop, may not understand what those clauses state either, okay? So you have to kind of, when you write it, be sure you understand it. If you have concerns, call me and we'll go over it together, okay?
Great, thank you.
Sure. Who else has got a question? It could be on anything. Right now, we got basically 10 minutes, guys, come on. Teresa, I'm going to ask you, have you got any word on your offer that you made on? For your-
No, they're going to review all the offers tonight with the sellers, and we should know by tomorrow morning.
Keep my fingers crossed.
Me
She's in the
too.
process of learning how to write a lot of offers.
Yes, I am.
So very good. Dahlia, how is your world and what are you seeing in your world when you're writing offers? Oh, we lost her.
Oh, no,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh,
I'm
there
right
you
here.
are.
I was trying, I thought I had it on mute, but I didn't. So I'm trying to get my buyers going again, pre-qualified and everything. But as far as it goes with the offers, I feel like having a good communication with the other agent always helps as far as it goes in writing and, you know, doing a resolution, everything, just knowing how the market is best of both worlds. If you guys can just get along and just help, you know, either the seller or the buyer, whichever side you're on.
Well, I find lately we have a lot of agents that want to play king of the mountain. So we got to work with who's there and what do we have to do. You just want to try to be as nice as possible if you can, but every once in a while you're going to get a very difficult agent on the other side. And I just want you to know you can stand your ground. It'll be just fine.
And
Okay?
that is true because I mean they can come up and tell you, oh well, we have another person or you know another buyer that's offering the same, or you know whatever it is. Try to try to get your buyer to do more. But if that was the case, you know, then they would go with those people. So it's true how you're saying, just stand your ground and just do whatever you can as much as possible. Because sometimes some agents they'll just try to see if you can go higher or do more.
And I was going to tell you that is correct. Teresa just had to step out, but this guy calls her on the last one she put together and said, will your buyers go this, do you have, you know, I want to know if your buyers will go this high. And Teresa's question was, do you have an offer like that? Do you really have an offer? Well, that's, you know, he kept trying to get her to go higher and she kept saying, no, they can't, they won't go any higher. Ultimately, the buyer stood their ground and they got the deal. But you find, like Dahlia said, you have some agents that basically are not as truthful as they should be, okay, about whether they have the deal or don't. So what other questions does anyone have? Everybody good? Okay, so the next class starts at 2. About the vision speeches and stuff. This is going to be on wealth building. So hopefully you all can get onto that. It'll be in the same, I'm going to get off so that Amy can get back on again. But if you have questions on anything, like Kim and Melissa send me notes, please don't hesitate to do the same thing. And if I can help you, please feel free to call me. All right, guys, have a great day.
Hey, thank you,
you.
Donna.
Well, let
Thank
me ask
you.
you one question before we take off. Was this helpful for everybody?
Yes.
Kim, okay,
Yeah.
good.
There's always
Uh,
weird one-off situations that it's nice to know how to handle.
Pardon me? Say it
It's
again,
nice to know
Melissa.
how to handle situations that come up, but not on a regular basis.
Right. And I know all of you will have different ones. And if you have a TC, that's even better. But we're trying to make sure that we can accommodate everybody in what we're doing. And well, every once in a while, probably once a quarter, I'll have this again, just so that we know that if we're on the same page or not. And because there's a lot of moving parts to it. Okay, guys, have
Thanks,
a great
Donna.
afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And I will talk to everybody later.
All
Have a
right,
good
bye.
day. Bye-bye.